I just want to chat about what's going on with the Browns and Baker Mayfield a little bit here. Is like, what is the Browns' plan to put everything back together with Baker? Are they really going to go into the season, his final year, walk year there, with him knowing they sent the entire organization to Houston to talk to Deshaun Watson? Knowing that his reaction to that was to send out a "love you guys, Cleveland. I've given everything that I could here," right? Missive. And if Mayfield is available, would you go get him?
Depends on your team.
I know that, obviously. Would
if
you
I'm
go
Seattle and Indianapolis,
I would absolutely do that in a heartbeat. I'd go get him.
Absolutely.
I'd take him over Drew Lock. I'd take him over Sam. I mean, it's absurd to even say those words.
The Sam Ellinger, yeah.
Yeah,
or Jacob Eason.
I'd take him over Sam Darnold.
I was literally just
Carolina.
about to ask you that question right now.
I'd take Baker Mayfield in Carolina right now. If I were them.
The problem is they're already on the hook for Sam Darnold for the $19 million.
The story as to why it has not worked with Baker Mayfield in Cleveland is what? Hugh Jackson to Freddie Kitchens to their current head coach. Okay? And their current administration. And Kevin Stefanski and him together, not only does Stefanski win Coach of the Year, but he wins a playoff game. Okay. And that Baker Mayfield led team goes to Kansas City and damn near knocked off the Chiefs in that game. If it wasn't for that dreaded rule of the fumble, going through the end zone gives the ball back to the defense that was on its heels at the end of the first half, which it was in Kansas City. And then they run it back. They get Odell Beckham Jr. back. They look, good enough to win in week 1 in Kansas City, blow it late. The defense wasn't any good. Baker and the offense, it takes some time to get Odell involved. The Odell and Baker not being on the same page, not working together, is such a mystery. And we could sit here and say the answer is it's Baker's fault because look at what Odell looked like here. Is Stefanski's scheme right for Baker Mayfield? Is he a quarterback that doesn't adjust to what the coach wants? Whose fault is it? Well, I'll tell you what. If it's Baker on Indianapolis, or it's Baker on Seattle, or it's Baker on Carolina, if I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm going to work so hard to get to those places right now. I don't want to work. I don't want to play in Cleveland anymore. Even if he's not the adult in the room and somebody's telling Chris Mortensen that they want an adult at the quarterback position, and he's tweeting that out, and somebody is saying that about me, and even if he's the one who has been creating the problems, I still want the hell out. I want to go to a new spot to show them what I can do with them, and just maybe I'm now walking into a free agent year dialing it up. I would make sure I'm a Colt. That's what I'd do. Get my agent on the horn. Call up the Browns and say, send me to Indianapolis. That's what I'd do right now. Because you saw what he did with the run game that was working very well. How does Jonathan Taylor fit you?
I would say that fits.
And then if I'm Cleveland,
Nick Chubb, though,
I'm Cleveland, what do? You put yourself now in the position that the Colts are in. You put yourself now in the position that Seattle's in. And if I'm Cleveland, I don't know. What the hell's going on in that building with the two of them? But you heard McShay's here, and what I've heard rumors at the Combine as well, and just couldn't believe it, is that they're done with Baker. What are you going to do? Just go in with Case Keenum? Is that what you're going to do? You saw what it looked like that one game, and you're like, I think you can make it work, and it damn near worked in Minnesota for 1 year, and we can make it work and figure it out. Do you go and use the 13th overall pick on a quarterback? Is that what you do? Or do you just make it work with Baker Mayfield? This is a wild scenario. I got to tell you, the Deshaun Watson return, never in a million years did I think the one team it would affect the most, other than the team that obviously Deshaun was going to, would be the Cleveland Browns. How about that? And you can't blame them for going in the direction of seeing what Deshaun Watson can do, right? Right? The problem is Deshaun wanted to see you and wanted to meet with you and wanted to flex his considerable leverage, as is his right, to meet with you. And owners, general managers, and coaches, I'd like to see you. And I'd like you to come to where I am. So you can't do it at the combine where nobody notices. Well, that's the worst place to do it.
You can't do this under the radar.
You couldn't do it. This was a difficult process to go under the radar because the whole world is trying to find out what's going on. So,
well, we've been wondering too, Rich, if a team was going to take the kind of college approach to quarterbacking of, okay, you got your rookie deal, we got 4, maybe 5 years, let's see if you can do it. And we kind of thought maybe the Ravens maybe, but now it could be just Cleveland. Okay, we're done. Let's move on. Let's draft another guy and start the process over again.
Well, it's that notion for me is that somebody's always just going to keep on choosing a new quarterback because they don't want to pay the quarterback and make the fact that the rest of the team would be hamstrung cap-wise to build a good team that you want to build out, and then the quarterback's the fungible position. That would be somebody that still liked the quarterback. This is born out of, we're done here.
Right.
But that would be the closest thing to it. And I keep saying to Cleveland Browns fans, what do you look at what you used to have. Baker's much better than, 20 of those quarterbacks that were, I was on the back of somebody's jersey.
Yeah.
To remember all those people that Joe Thomas blocked for.
Another point, too, when it comes to Deshaun and either one of the NFC South teams, people were pointing out that Matt Ryan has a $7.5 million roster bonus due tomorrow.
This has got to go. This is coming down. It's coming down the pike. It's amazing that it's the day after the new league year and we still haven't had an answer on that. But,
Also just saw that Tom Brady is recruiting Julio Jones to the Bucs.
I would too, wouldn't you?
I think so.
He just can't stay healthy. He's just not the same guy anymore.
Yeah.
Julio Jones and Mike Evans, two of the best receivers in the history of the NFC South on the same team with Tom Brady at the controls. Sounds pretty good with Godwin coming back and Gronk. He just wants to put together one more dream team, it appears. And look, just to put a button on this whole thing is every single team that's looking for a quarterback right now or somehow winds up in that position. If you're Cleveland, I would say Baker would make Indianapolis and Seattle much better and would give them an out at their quarterback spots that don't appear to have somebody like Baker Mayfield's talent level coming in. The only one that I would sit here and say might actually improve the situation because you think he can run your offense better and he's more of a mature guy and he's gone to a Super Bowl before is Jimmy G. Like if you send him to Indianapolis or send him to Seattle, you get some draft capital back that you can then flip for Jimmy G. Would you do that if you're Cleveland? I think that might be their plan here.
Also, Jimmy G just kind of fits with what Cleveland wants to do.
I think that's the idea, but why not Baker?
They want to run the ball and play defense.
Boy, if this is the end of Baker Mayfield's run in Cleveland, it just like the answer of what the hell happened there will go straight up with why did Russ have to leave Seattle and why didn't they give the ball to Marshawn Lynch? That'll be further down that list, but place that one down on the list of things I'd love to know one day.
And especially if he goes to another team and immediately makes the playoffs and has a positive impact.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.